Good to see you.
Good to see you in flesh and blood as well. And how's the NDC doing?
NDC is doing great. We are poised for power. We are ready to form government.
You are asking for a forensic audit. The EC seems not to be yielding to it. They say, come and let's discuss. Are you going for a discussion, or are you still adamant and sticking to your call for a forensic audit of the voters register?
First of all, I don't know what kind of discussion the Electoral Commission is talking about, because we have had several discussions in the run-up to our concerns being presented to them at our last meeting, which we held, and offered all the irregularities that we have seen from our audit. And so I don't know the discussions that they are talking about. These are real issues. We have discovered very grievous irregularities with the register, and we are saying that fix the irregularities, but with the level of auditing that we did, that we discovered this level of irregularities, we believe that there could be more, and even there could be systemic challenges, which will be presenting more bigger challenges in the main election. So let's go for a forensic audit, which forensic audit will look at both the system and the register, so that if there are any anomalies which could present bigger problems, we'll fix it once and for all. That's all that we are asking for. So all the presentations that we gave to the Electoral Commission, they are presentations that will help them fix the immediate situation. But that would be just scratching the surface of the problem. Because we were made to believe in 2020 that they were building a system that will stand the test of time. And so we expected that the system that they have built, the software and everything, will perform efficiently and will perform to task. But from 2013, the run-up to the district assembly elections, and how processes have gone and how the systems have performed, we believe that there could be more serious problems with both the system and how the Electoral Commission is managing the system. And that is why we are demanding the forensic audit. And so there is no conversation that we should be having. The conversation should be the Electoral Commission admitting to the forensic audit. And you see, it becomes very worrying. I don't know why the Electoral Commission doesn't want the audit.
Do we have time? Do we have time for such an audit?
We have time for the audit. How much time did we use to do the audit? They gave us the register a day before the exhibition. And just before the exhibition, that day, within 24 hours, we had all these irregularities identified. You understand? And so the forensic audit will not take forever. And again, if they had even admitted to the forensic audit 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, when we started advocating, we would have been down by now. 73 days to elections. We think that it would be more expensive to go into the election with the current state of the register and the current state of the systems than going for a forensic audit and fix the problems.
One of the responses that the Electoral Commission gave in response to your call for the audit was that in 2016 there were trees and plants and animals that was in the register. This is Samuel Tete, who was Director of Electoral Services at the time, who now is one of the deputy commissioners. You had an opportunity to represent in the NDC at IPAC so many times. He's making these claims that in 2016 there were trees, plants and animals on the register. You didn't raise these questions. Why are you raising them now?
We raised the same questions, and those things were fixed. But he is Samuel Tete. He was the one in charge at the time. He was managing the elections. And so how did those trees and plants get in there? He needs to be explaining to us, because it is not political parties that put the plants and the animals in there. So they should be explaining to us. That cannot be a cogent, reasonable reason that anybody should present when we have such issues. You understand? We are looking at over 243,000 transfers that we don't know where they are coming from. We are looking at about 4,000 new entrants into the register that we don't know where they are coming from. We are looking at over 2,000 people in the register whose names have been deleted. My own mom, and my brother. The police station they vote. They went there, their names were not there.
The names are not in the register.
Their names are not there. My mom and my brother, their names were not there. They had to go around, move around. They went to their district office, they had to check, and they had been put in some different police stations, far away from their community. Far away from their community. Imagine it was election day. And imagine they didn't
transfer their votes.
Yet nobody has transferred their votes. They have not done anything to their votes. So imagine it's election day and they have gone to the police station to vote. Imagine the level of chaos. And this is my mom and my brother. So how much more the thousands and millions of people across the country who may be suffering this, and we do not know. In fact, the records that our system captured does not include my mom and my brother. You understand? And so there may be thousands who didn't go to the police station to go and check during the election, who have been misplaced or dispositioned.
Do you find the Electoral Commission's posture on this whole conversation about this forensic audit helpful to our democracy?
It's been appalling and regrettably so, because if you look at the previous disposition of Jean Mensa when she was at IE, when she was Jean Mensa, at the time where there were challenges with the 2012 system, an 8-year-old register, which was the first biometric register that we conducted, Jean Mensa was the one who led for a demand for an audit of the register. And so at the time, she conveniently demanded for an audit. And the reasons are basically the same.
Did you grant that audit?
But why? Well, was I at the Electoral Commission, or was the NDC at the Electoral Commission?
Was it granted? The call. I remember Cabinet J.J. and Paul Afoko and his team.
It was that call.
Jean Mensa said that, well, the EC at the time should be proactive and grant the, but there was the audit granted.
It was that call and that need for audit that led to the expulsion of about
NHIS registrants.
Yes, all those who registered with NHIS. And so, and it allowed us to open for registration of new members and those who have been taken off. So it was that audit. All that we are saying is that with the discrepancies and the level of irregularities that we have seen, we think that fixing them right now may even be a problem because there could be more. So we want an independent body, or if you want, the Electoral Commission should tell us that they have instituted an internal audit, and after the internal audit, this is what they have discovered in addition to ours, and that this is how they are fixing it. At least that would even give us some respect. But the Electoral Commission is telling us that they have fixed our concerns and they are good to go and their systems are okay and they don't need to do any forensic audit. But if you don't have anything to hide, if indeed your systems are good, what do you lose in allowing a forensic audit?
Where are the DVD machines and the laptops? Have you found them?
I'm sure maybe when you call someone today and ask him, he will give you.
No, you are an interested party in this election.
Yes,
have you been told that the machines have been found?
Obviously not. In fact, the last time we met on Monday with the CSOs, we raised that. We have not been told anything. We have not seen where the BVDs are. We've not seen where the BVRs are. There is no information at all. We have demanded continuously that the police take action. Some investigation is done. At least some information must come. No information. And so with the stolen BVRs and what is happening, it is not surprising. You remember when the BVRs got missing, our main concern was that somebody could use the BVR to register people and get people into the register without any stress at all. Because the software for the entry or for the registration is on the computer in the BVR. If anybody has it, he can do anything to the register. And I remember we had a discussion here.
But the DC says no, that cannot happen.
And I explained to you how it could be done. And that can happen. Actually, we believe that is what has happened. Because if you look at the new entrants that have been added, who didn't go through any registration process, we believe that could be the conduit. So a forensic audit will give you the digital footprints. You know, the system, every IT system has a way of recording the footprints, which machine logs in at which time, which entries are made, even the codes that are used for logging in. And so it is only the forensic audit which will bring these details. And it's going to, among other things, help us to know whether those devices are being used by some unscrupulous people.
Your friends in the MPP say they will head to court if the EC grants your request for a forensic audit of the voters register for the 2024 elections. What do you say to that?
During the day I read that statement, I felt very sad. I felt that we have gone back about 100 years in our democracy. A political party participating in an election, which election must use a credible register, and the public is demanding for a forensic audit of the register to fix it and make it robust. And they are saying that if we fix and make the register robust, they will go to court. What does it tell you? It tells you that the EC and the MPP are complicit in this business.
You can't
to
say
deliberately create this irregularity so that they can use that. I can say that. The evidence is there. You are just giving me the evidence. I didn't bring it. You just brought it. That they are saying that if we do the forensic audit and fix the register and get a robust register, they will go to court. So it means that they want a botched register so that they can take advantage of the irregularities to pursue their rigging plans. And that is what we are saying. That look, our democracy is a very young democracy. Elections can be very bloody. Elections can be very violent. Elections are tumultuous moments. Even in the animal kingdom, you know, the animal kingdom, they also hold elections. When you put your sheep and goat together, the moment you put them together, you see that they start knocking each other. They are electing leaders. Even when you put the chicken together, you see that they start pecking. You and I studied in school, it's called pecking order.
Right.
That's elections for them. Even in America, 200 years democracy, 2020 it was bloody. So elections are things that we don't joke with. Election trials on transparency, it trials on fairness, it trials on integrity. What this electoral commission has presented, they have presented opaqueness, heavily opaque in dealing with issues. They have been very biased in their dealings, and they have acted with no iota of integrity.
The party people are still there at the electoral commission. Is your party?
Yeah, they are there. But we should find a way to get the results rather than doing the forensic audit, because the forensic audit will reveal even more damning and criminal.
Professor Jampo said that.
Oh yes, that was his proposal.
But Professor Jampo and Professor Okwe were the ones who had a debate at the IEA platform regarding this forensic audit and the electoral reforms.
Exactly.
So why is he saying that now?
Exactly. And that is a very important point. That's a very important point. But now I'm even concerned about the fact that the electoral commission may have something they are afraid of, and they don't want the public to know. But if they don't have anything they want to hide from the public, they should just allow for the forensic audit. It may take even 3 days to do that forensic audit, because the systems are there. We use less than 24 hours to identify all these irregularities. Less than 24 hours. And so we believe that with an independent instrument for a proper forensic audit, they may not even need 3 days.
Santro, Kofi, Akpafo, Lipe, and Lolobi, they ordinarily would fall within the Volta region. That's your stronghold. In the last election, they didn't vote. They were just
so they fall under Otina.
Yes, but I'm saying ordinarily they would fall within the Volta region. But now the new region Oti would, and the Volta region as it was in its original form is your stronghold, the NDC stronghold. They woke up getting ready to vote on the 7th. On the 6th, they were told you cannot choose a parliamentary candidate. As we speak, they don't have a representation. Do you know if they are going to vote in this election?
They are going to vote in this election. That one, I'm very sure about that. They are going to have an MP for the first time. But that is one of the cardinal sins of Jim Mensah and her team. And they are going to pay for it.
How?
They are going to sincerely and heavily pay for it.
How?
How? It's a breach of the law. Remember, they are there because they claim that somebody has breached the law. And that's why they removed them and they brought them. And all that Jim Mensah and the team have done from the beginning is just breach one law upon one law upon one law, and they are still breaching. And they are going to pay for it. The day of accountability will come. Johnny, I can assure you that Jim Mensah, Bossman, Samuel Tete, their day of accountability is going to come.
I don't understand. It sounds like a threat.
Oh, let it be considered a threat, because indeed it's going to happen. Their day of accountability is a call for accountability a threat.
But what really have they done for you to be telling them this morning on a Wednesday morning that look, the day of accountability and all of that?
Was I the one who mentioned the cardinal sin of the EC from SAP? You mentioned it. So you know what they have done.
No, I'm only asking my questions.
So I'm saying that they have done so much. Their crimes are replete, and they must be held accountable. Remember, the job of the Electoral Commission is a job that the people of this country, who have subletted some small amount of their power to the president, which president has subletted a little amount of that power, so that small power we have given him to the Electoral Commission. It is that small power that they are operating. They are operating under the authority of the people of this country. The whims and caprices of the EC and the MPP cannot be held supreme over the will of the people. And that is the point that we are making. Our effort to engage the civil society organizations and reach out to the media and reach out to everybody is just for everybody to see what we have discovered, see things from our perspectives, so that we join the call together. This is not about the NDC. What we are talking about is not about NDC being afraid that they may lose elections and all that. The most important thing is about our democracy. Because look, I was saying yesterday that the gentlemen that conducted the demonstrations few days ago and have been, democracy hub, and the kind of violence and things that happen, these are people who are not NDC people. They are normally not politicians.
Well, the Daily Guide says they are NDC people. Not just the Daily Guide, Helen, there were about 3 newspapers, right? Yesterday that said NDC protesters, 43 of them had been arrested.
Disregard. But you know all those who did the demonstration. Some of them you don't even know. You have never seen them before. They are not. They have been very critical of the NDC. They are not NDC people. But I mean, let's disregard that. But the point I want to make is that if you look at the kind of violence, how the demonstration went, these are not party politicians. These are ordinary people who are angry, who are hungry, who want a change, who want something to be done. So if this small group of people can do this, imagine the anger of the ordinary people, including the party foot soldiers. Should the 2024 election be botched? Should the 2024 elections go wrong? Should the systems go wrong? Should they go to the polling station and the systems are not functioning? Should they go to the polling station and their names are not there? That is the problem. And so all that we are saying is that in the interest of our democracy, the Electoral Commission should just conduct this independent audit.
And if they don't?
If they don't conduct this independent audit, I think that then we are in for trouble. We are in for trouble, big trouble. We are in for big trouble, Johnny. And you see, it's going to affect all of us. So it's not only about the NDC, the media. What are we also doing for the
Peace
media?
Council says let bygones be bygones. What you're asking for now, we should find a middle ground.
The least said about the Peace Council,
find the middle ground so that we can meet ourselves halfway. Let bygones be bygones. For example, when you ask for the 8 lives to be accounted for from the last election, the 8 lives that were lost, the Peace Council, you heard them said, "Oh, let bygones be bygones. Relax. You're asking for justice in the heat of the moment. Slow down. I mean, try and meet the Electoral Commission halfway. That's all they're saying."
Johnny, the Peace Council will be held responsible
for what?
If anything should happen to our democracy, because they have acted very responsibly. In fact, when the MPP were demanding the audit in 2015, the Peace Council requested that the Electoral Commission acts according to the request of the political parties. Today, they are saying that we, the political parties, should just allow the EC to do its work. We should allow the EC to do its work.
But the leadership of the
with all the concerns we have raised, and even the examples that you have given, with the killing of the 8 people, they have said nothing about it. The president has not even had the confidence, a modicum of some humanness to mention the 8 people that were killed in any speech at all in his life. He has never mentioned it, ever. Have you heard the president mention or speak about it?
I think there was one instance,
not a single one.
State of the Nation's address.
State of the Nation's address, when we had demanded that they should talk about the nation. You understand? And so that is the worry. And Peace Council is quiet. And that is why we have indicated to them that we are not interested in any peace pact. We are not going to sign any peace pact. We want to see action. If the Peace Council is really interested in the peace, peace is a process. It's not an end in itself. You understand? It's a process. The things you put in there is what gives you the peace. So you can't just sign off peace and achieve peace. So they should let the Electoral Commission act right. And that's all that we are saying.
The Democracy Hub people who went onto the streets because they were asking for a halt to Galamsey. Galamsey must stop. Galamsey, as we all know, is affecting our forest cover, and most importantly, our cocoa farms are under siege. You are the spokesperson of the NDC on Greek. Cocoa is an important crop for us in terms of FX earning for us. What do you think?
Okay, so first of all, Galamsey is not only affecting cocoa. Galamsey has put our food security under severe threat. And you see, the thing about crops is that they grow in certain specific environment, ecological environment.
Right.
As you destroy the vegetation, the ecosystem changes, and the ecosystem affects the performance and, for that matter, the yield of the crops.
Right.
Cocoa is one crop that grows within a certain given ecological arrangement, and that's why you can't grow cocoa in the north. And so when you look at the forest transition zone, the forest zone, and the rainforest, the western region, Axim area, those are the places that we grow the cocoa.
Right.
Now, what has happened with Galamsey is that all the trees have been cut down. Now the system has changed, and so even those that are managing with the small tracts of cocoa land, the cocoa is underperforming because it's not getting the rainfall. You have seen the distortion in the rainfall pattern. All has affected the performance of cocoa. Then coupled with that, there is gross mismanagement and incompetence on the side of the managers of the cocoa board, and that has even aggravated the situation. As we speak, cocoa, we are going to have a shortage of our supply, our cocoa obligation, close to about 350,000 to 400,000 metric tons this year. We anticipate that this year, even our target of some 400,000 metric tons, we may not be able to get that. We are in for crisis. But you see, what we must understand is that cocoa has been the lifeline of our economy. In 2018 alone, we got $3.8 billion from cocoa. So the contribution to our economy was almost $3.8 billion. In fact, in 2017, when we had just left power, cocoa contributed $2.7 billion. Are you aware that just last year, cocoa contributed $232 million? 232.
From we dropped from the billions.
Yes, from the
down
billions
to millions.
Yes, and this is a function of lack of proper environment for production, production policy, and mismanagement from cocoa board. Now the farmers have seen that the cocoa is not so profitable. They are subletting their lands to the illegal miners to mine, and so we are not producing. And Ghana, that used to be the #1 in cocoa production, we are now struggling. But it is not only cocoa that we are struggling. Every single crop, every single cash crop is struggling. Every single food crop is struggling. Now we are unable to produce maize, we are unable to produce soybean, we are unable to produce sorghum, we are unable to produce cassava, we are unable to produce plantain. And it's affecting everything.
That's contrary to what government tells us.
But that is a fact. Look, we are in for a food security crisis next year. And let me say this emphatically.
Why are you being a prophet of doom?
I'm not being a prophet of doom. I have analyzed the situation.
Are you saying that we have not harvested enough
we
to store for the first quarter at least to survive?
You are talking about storage. Even the current consumption you are not able to meet, and you are talking about storage. We are in for a food security crisis next year. And as we speak, President Mahama has put a team together that we are trying to analyze and assess and see how we can fix this. Put in an emergency system to be able to secure our food when we come into power. Otherwise, we are going to be in severe crisis in 2025. This is because the management of the agri sector, beyond the fact that it has been engulfed with corruption, it has been engulfed with total lack of understanding of the process.
Your friend Dr. Barney Champon is in charge of the agriculture.
Barney Champon has been a total disaster. It's been a total disaster. But as if we expected anything better, it's been a total disaster. Now with this call for emergency funding for the dry spell, are you aware that as at the time that he was doing his press conference and announcing the 980,000 farmers, the people were on the phone trying to collect data? Even his own gap that he has put in place to register farmers online, they have only about 520,000 people registered. And he's telling us that there are 980,000 people that has been affected, so we should give him $500 million. $500 million. So if you look at the investment they have done in the past 4 years, let's even look at the past 8 years in agriculture, in development of irrigation systems. Put all together and see how much it contributes. How much in $1 million such that within 2 months to elections, you want us to give you 500
One village, one dam means
to
nothing
go and
to
deal
you.
with rice.
Planting for food and jobs means nothing to you. Planting for export and rural development means nothing to you.
The-
For food and
the
jobs,
list said-
one district, one warehouse.
Johnny, the list said about those policies, the better.
What do you mean?
They have just been mere slogans.
What do you mean?
I have been, as it stands now, I have demanded for a copy of the actual policy document for planting for food and jobs, and I have not had one.
You demanded
in fact,
from who?
From the ministry. I have gone to the ministry myself. In fact, I have asked for the report for PFJ1. Have you seen it?
No.
Have you seen the performance report?
It.
Very good. Now there is PFJ2 without a proper publicly promulgated report for PFJ1. And they are starting PFJ2, and I have requested for the PFJ2 document up to today.
So
I have not
so
gotten
you're
it.
saying
And
that
I have
there's
said
no
it on radio
evaluation
repeatedly.
No evaluation that was done for PFJ1.
Absolutely not. Not that anybody, any expert in the field can tell you about. If any expert is having reports for PFJ1, he should call into the studio right now and present it. Call the Ministry of Agric and request. You are a media house, maybe under the RTI, you can demand for that report. The report is nowhere. Even the PFJ2 policy document is shrouded in opaqueness, and nobody knows exactly what is being done.
In 2021,
contracts have been awarded, people have been paid, supplies have not even been delivered, but they have been paid. But under PFJ1, contracts were given. Things were supposed to be supplied. In fact, a 10 million worth of contract was given to a company to supply beds. They owed 6 under the area for food and jobs.
Right.
10 million worth. The company never supplied them. They've been paid fully. What I'm hearing is that the company supplied it to itself, and nobody knows what happened to those beds. And these are things, these are real things. Corruption that is going on in the agri sector, which is not allowing the sector to grow.
But in 2021,
now we import all our chicken products from abroad. Do you know how many beds that 10 million Ghanaians can bring and can produce, and how much impact it can make to our
But you know, in 2021, the President of the Republic addressing the nation, or the state of the nation, addressing Parliament, said that, look, we are now a net exporter of food, tomatoes, onion, etc., thanks to planting for food and jobs. And you sit here, you say contrary. I mean, your members of
Parliament, are you aware that
they didn't contradict?
Are you aware that this government
this is in the Hansard?
Are you aware that this government has invested and imported more guinea fowls than any other government in the history of this country, and the guinea fowls are nowhere to be found?
The ones that flew out, they re-imported them.
The one they claim flew out. If you look at the number of guinea fowls that government invested money in, and the guinea fowls they have imported, it is nowhere near what they have imported. Where are the guinea fowls? Have they also been flown? Maybe they've gone to Niger.
To do what?
To do what? You should be asking them. You understand? I believe that we have just paid lip service to agriculture in this country, and that is where we are. So, Johnny, let's look at it this way. You have a country that spends almost $400 million to import tomato. Onions have not come. Pepper have not come. Even maize we import. Soya bean have not come. So how can your currency be stable? How can your currency? So you go to IMF, take $3 billion, spread over 5 years. They give you $600 million a year, but you spend over $400 million to import tomato alone. You are sick. But what is the problem of the farm? Why are we not able to produce? Why are we not technically efficient? One, it's an input problem. Input problem. There are two types of input. We have the fixed input, which is land. You know our land tenure system, the problem that it brings to farmers. Farmers are not even able to get the land even if they want to farm. Then two, the variable inputs, the seeds. The quality of the seed, the cost of the seed, the availability of the seed has been one of the biggest challenges. As we speak, there is an impending big scandal in the seed industry from the Ministry of Food and Agric. Some seed contracts that they have given. There are departments that are supposed to approve the seeds before they go to the market. And what happens is that government gives the contract to some people, they collect the money, then the seeds they go and bring them from Burkina Faso. They don't go through the testings, they don't go through the certification, and they are released to the market. And that is why we had the 4 armed men just recently
in 2018.
you understand? So there is a big problem with the input quality, seed quality. the availability of the seed, and even the cost of the seed. There is a problem with the cost and availability of agrochemicals and fertilizer. And so what we are saying is that, look, under the Agriculture for Economic Transformation Program, we have the Feeding the Ghana program, which is heralded by the Farmer Services Center. The Farmer Services Centers are supposed to be a one-stop shop for input support to farmers. And so you are a farmer, you have a land, you go there, you want your farm to be plowed. Now, to get a tractor to plow your land is 450 Ghana cedis to 500 per acre. Per acre, yeah. Not even for a day, per acre. And so you have 5 acres, you are looking at roughly about 2,500 to plow that land. The poor farmer who is running 5 acres, which is considered a smallholder farm, that person has no alternative income. How can he plow the farm and even cultivate? And so the Farmer Services Center is now going to provide the plowing services and the tractor services at a subsidized cost, but also at a credit arrangement, so that if you don't have the money and you come, they will go and plow for you. Then it will be credited against your name. You want the seeds, it will be provided from the Farmer Services Center. The technical support and the extension services all will be provided. Agrochemicals will be provided. And
when will you pay back?
Fertilizer will be provided, credited to your name. When you harvest your commodity, there will be a warehouse at the Farmer Services Center where you can come and store to help you manage your post-harvest, arrangements and all that. And so you will bring them, and when you have harvested, now the amount of money that you owe the Farmer Services Center will be quantified and be taken out of the food. And so we are thinking of bringing the commodity exchange, decentralizing the commodity exchange at the Farmer Services Center, so that even at the Farmer Services Center, when you have put your commodity in the warehouse with your receipt, you can exchange that for another commodity or for even money. I see. You understand? And so we believe this Farmer Services Center, and Johnny, maybe we may have to have time.
Yeah, we'll have to do
I really need to do this, so that, because I want us to look at food and agriculture as the source of life for our economy.
That's correct.
Because we have a 3-sector economy, and agriculture drives all the other 2 sectors, industry and services. And we are playing with agriculture. That is why the economy is struggling. And so we would have to look for a solution. The food thing is a thing about life. What are the basic needs of man? Food, clothing, shelter, and all is agriculture. Clothing is agriculture, shelter is agriculture, food is agriculture.
2 quick comments from you and then we'll wrap up. This was Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo on 10th of September 2016, 3:37 p.m. on X. Says, I want a Ghana where every citizen has access to potable water. NPP Solutions Manifesto. This was what he said. Your thoughts about Galamsey relative to this, where Ghana Water has told us that the water we have.
The man has said well, so. He said he will put his government on the line.
No, he said he's prepared to put his
he said he will put his government on the line.
He is prepared to put his president.
What's the difference?
There's a difference. Being prepared to do something is not the same as doing it.
So he was prepared, yes, but he didn't do it.
I didn't say that.
Johnny, he has said worse than that. But what have we said? I mean, the issue about Galamsey is a total shame. Are you aware that of the total gold contribution to Ghana's economy, in actual fact, of the total gold mining composition in Ghana, 65% is small-scale illegal mining. 65% of all the gold mining in Ghana. 35% is the large-scale miners. Are you also aware that this 65% contributes less than 2% to the total gold revenue generation for the country? Are you aware? And so we are mining so much gold. The 65% that Ghana is supposed to benefit, Ghana is not benefiting. Now, Ukosa,
listen to
what
this.
happened to Akunta mining when Akunta mining was reported? Why would the government even go to parliament, even think of going to parliament to amend a portions of our law to allow mining in forest areas? Look at what has happened to our carbon sinks in even their cities. Achimota has been well to Sir John's family forever. They have bought all those lands.
Would you be surprised?
There are no carbon sinks.
Would you be surprised if you found
and the small forest that we are having, you are allowing mining in those forests?
Would you be surprised if you saw Ghana in Azerbaijan for the climate change, climate conversation? Would you be surprised?
Why wouldn't I be surprised? Why would even this government participate in anything climate change? Why would this government participate in anything climate change? They have completely disregarded the tenets and the principles of vegetation protection.
17th September 2015, 5:14. President Akufo-Addo again on X, then Twitter. Brute force by the police against unarmed citizens exercising their constitutional rights should be a thing of the past. Hashtag new voters register now. What do you say?
Right there for you. Right there for you. So the duplicity of this government and the hypocrisy of this government is so humongous, it's so unbelievable, it's so unprecedented. I mean, everything about this government is unprecedented.